What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of The Caffeinated Photographer. I am your host, Aaron Chavez, aka The Rockabilly Buddha. If you're not following me on Instagram or on, um, wow, I really don't know what I'm saying. I don't know if I want to plug in my handles. But anyways, if you know my work, you know that I've been a photographer for about 4 years now, almost 5 actually. And I wanted to just create this podcast just to kind of talk about some, photos, coffee, and everything that I've learned, and maybe have a couple of guests eventually to go over some of the stuff that they like. And ultimately we're just having fun. Just talking about art in general, but with a heavy emphasis on coffee and photography. Wow, that was rambling. I was rambling a lot. I do apologize. So, what's funny is that like I started this in the hopes of like I don't know, just keeping it separate from my main YouTube channel, Rockabilly Buddha. And I originally wasn't even going to record video, but I am doing that for these first 2 episodes just to kind of see how it is. Um, but yeah, oh, guys, I'm kind of in the middle of something. My dogs are fighting. But yeah, no, I originally didn't want to do a video for this, but you know what? I'm gonna try it. Right now, I'm looking in the camera. I look terrible. I'm recording this first thing in the morning on Sunday morning, and I haven't even had my coffee yet, so I have it right here in my hand, and we'll see how it is. This is the I don't even know what I grabbed. So I don't hate me, but this is a Starbucks version coffee. It's the Veranda, I believe. One of my favorite blends from Starbucks. It's not great because I mean it's Starbucks, but in a pinch, it's not bad. But I think I might have put way too much sugar in it. It's fine. It's fine. We'll be fine. Ugh, man. So, guys, hey. Oh, I swear they were like calm all morning, and then all of a sudden, the second I turn on the recording stuff, can you hear them? Like, oh my god! every time. But no, as like I was saying, I intended to create. Guys, Pico, stop. But like I was saying, intended to record this podcast, just keep it a little bit different from my main channel, obviously, and to really kind of help me get better with talking, because let's just face it, words are hard. Pictures are easy. Coffee is easy. Words, they're fucking hard. Speaking of hard, let's talk about burnout. Burnout is probably one of the hardest things that I have ever experienced in my life. As any artist may know, when you are going so hard at your passion, like I was, a few years ago, just taking pictures like crazy, booking photo shoots every weekend, like you eventually start burning out, and it's a terrible feeling because when you get to the point where your passion starts becoming a burden, it hurts. It hurts bad. It's like a whole different feeling because like you want to stay creative and you want to take pictures and whatnot, but like you literally can't because you have no desire to do that. And I've been there. I've been there quite a bit. I actually just started recovering from a recent burnout. Finally getting back into like the whole creative spirit, but like it's tough, And there's so many things that affect burnout. Like for me, the very first time I got burnt out with photography was 2 years ago, I believe. Um, like when I got into photography back, like really got into it, like in 2019. I like made a promise to myself to go out, network, and meet people who share the same mentality as me, who share who share the same passion, as far as like creating art, and that's what I did. I vowed to push myself as hard as possible working with people who are models or just fellow creatives. And I scheduled at a minimum 2 photo shoots a weekend while I was working a full-time job. Sometimes I would even do photo shoots in the middle of the week after work, which that was fun. It was fine. At the time, I was married, so if I wasn't able to make it home to walk the dogs, my wife was able to do that. So yeah, no, that wasn't a problem really. It's gotten harder now, obviously, but for different reasons. But yeah, no, being able to go that hard, that much, like it eventually took a toll on me, and yeah. I'm also going to backtrack a little bit because I forgot to mention that not only was I working with models, but at this time I was also trying to actively pursue photography as a business. So that means I was trying to do family photos, I was trying to do senior photos, engagements. I've had a couple people ask me about weddings, and yeah, it was fine. It was okay, but doing all of that, I realized quickly that yeah, it was too much. It was way too much, way too much, and eventually I just stopped taking photos. I stopped taking videos. Yeah, I had to step back to kind of remind myself what I like doing and where I want to go with this. So from there, I was like, you know what? I really like fitness stuff. So I'm gonna start doing fitness videos. I'm gonna start doing, fitness photos, and I want to be a producer of content for people. So I started pursuing that. Loved it. It was great. Unfortunately, with the circumstances that have happened recently, I did just get divorced. So with all that happening, moving, selling my house, bunch of other stuff that I was dealing with, it kind of prompted a second burnout. And that second burnout was tough. Oh my god, that second burnout was tough because it was more of an emotional burnout than a passion burnout, if that makes sense. Like the first one was like, oh, I'm working myself way too damn hard. I need to stop, reevaluate. This one was like, oh, your life is way too hard, so you need to stop and reevaluate your situation. And that's what I ended up doing. I ended up really just like sitting down with myself and kind of just, I don't know, I just kind of started thinking about what I'm doing. Like, how can I still have this creative outlet it, with hopes for me to turning this into a business? What kind of business do I want? And that I don't really know, because I love this as a hobby. I love this as something fun to do. I love talking about photography, but I also don't want that burnout again. And that is a fine line to walk. It's tough. I know a lot of photographers in the Denver community right now who their pictures are amazing. Their work is amazing. They're always booked. But they literally do photo shoots from sun up to sundown several times a week. They have problems editing their photos because they end up getting like carpal tunnel or arthritis starts developing. Um, they literally work themselves to death almost, and that doesn't sound fun. That does not sound like something that I want to do. But at the same time, I really do want to get more into like commercial photography, which I have experimented with a couple of times. And it's fun. I know that is probably where the biggest money is at. And I'll probably have a little bit more creative freedom going into commercial photography versus if I, did what everybody else is doing and took on all these weddings, took on all these, family photos and all these like random gigs. That's not my passion. Commercial photography is my passion. Creative photography is my passion. Street photography, I love doing all those, and I can do those all day long. as long as it's like reasonable. Obviously, I don't want to do them like too much to the point where I again burn out, because that's the theme of this video and podcast if you're listening. But like I, other than that, like I was struggling just trying to keep up with family photos and senior photos, on top of still trying to stay creative with everything else that I was working on. And at the end of the day, that's all that really matters, is that you take care of yourself. Because like when you get to that burnout stage, maybe it's time to just step back and remind yourself why you got into it. Why did you get into this creative outlet in the first place? Was it because it was fun? Probably. So why are you going to make it difficult on yourself by forcing yourself to create things or work on projects or do things that you don't want to do? That's just going to speed up the burnout faster. Ooh, that's pretty good. It's not bad. You know what? I still think I put too much sugar in here, but it's not bad. It's not bad. It's tolerable. Like I said, the veranda Starbucks coffee is probably one of my favorites. Definitely try it out. I feel like it's underrated. So, it's funny because there was one time where I was at a social event with, some fellow photographers and models, and I knew, a couple people there, but I met one person who kind of intrigued me. And to this day, I still don't quite know what he was getting at or how he was coming across this conclusion. But he was telling me that, well, not just me, but like me and a group of people, that burnout is only a stage of mind or a phase of mind, whatever. Burnout is all mental. Well, like, no shit. Of course it's all mental. But where he got me was when he said, your brain is a muscle. When you feel like you're getting burnt out with whatever projects you're working on, learn to flip a switch and refocus your energy onto a different project, or find another creative way to not really avoid burnout, but rework it, I guess. So you're like rewiring your brain, tricking it to thinking that you're still staying creative. And a part of me agrees with that, but another part of me is like, aren't you just like going more and more down this rabbit hole until you finally crash? Like, I understand like switching your whole mentality to doing something better, or not better, but staying creative and like developing that skill to where you avoid burnout but still do what you like doing. I get it. That's a great idea in theory, but I don't know. I mean, I've tried that. I've tried switching my mind around when I was in a stage of burnout. But some of the photos that come out while I'm forcing myself to stay creative, it just doesn't work. It doesn't work. Like, you can see in those photos particularly that it yeah, I wasn't passionate about them. They didn't spark joy. They didn't inspire me to do better next time. They were just you know. And I used to, again, really? Guys. And I used to think that like if you keep forcing yourself while you're in those stages, you'll get that spark of joy back. You'll get that inspiration to the point where you're like, yeah, I got this. I'm back. Let's do it. But that's not how it works all the time. And I've found that out the hard way. Hey. Hey. Go to bed. Go to bed. Go to bed. I'm recording. Why? Why do they do this? There's nobody here. Go to bed. Go to bed. So yeah, burnout is tough. It is tough, but I think that the biggest thing that I have taken away from my most recent burnout is to remember and remind myself on a nope, somebody's trying to get a hold of me. My biggest takeaway for when I am in a stage of burnout is to remind myself why I started taking photos. Why did I start meeting people who share the same creative passions as I do? Why did I get into this? Because you love it. Because I love it. And I refuse to have this taken away from me. I refuse to have my passions be used against me to the point where I no longer care about them anymore. I'm good at it. And I want to keep going. And I hope that as you're listening to this, that you too realize that you are good at whatever you're doing right now. You are an amazing photographer. You're an amazing videographer or model. You are amazing at what you do. Don't let anybody ruin that for you by forcing you to create stuff that you aren't passionate about. Avoid the burnout if you can. And if you are in a stage of burnout, especially right now as you're listening to this, step back. My neighbors. If you are in a stage of burnout, especially right now as you're listening to this or watching this, take that step back. Take that step back. Just reevaluate your life, reevaluate your situation, and remind yourself why you're doing this. Hopefully, inspiration will hit you again. And when it does, you're going to be amazing at it. All right, everybody. Well, starting to get a little noisy around my complex, so I think I'm going to go ahead and end the podcast right here. Thank you so much for listening and for watching. This is actually really fun. I want to keep doing this. I really like it. I'm still debating if I'm going to keep the video portion of it. You let me know what you think. I know right now I look kind of like crap, but that's because I literally just woke up and hit record. And I kind of like this concept. I might keep doing this. We'll see. So anyways, with that being said, I will catch you all on the next one. Make sure you follow me on Instagram, Rockabilly Buddha. YouTube. I have my other channel, Rockabilly Buddha, and then TikTok. I'm doing some stupid shit on TikTok. You can find me on there as well. And yeah, have a good one and stay creative, everybody.